Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. After we heard this great insight on the importance and the criticality of cybersecurity, I want to invite you to join me on a journey to the future. The future that is creating limitless possibilities and creating tremendous opportunities, a future that is powered by AI, a future where we bring human with machine to transform everything we do on our daily lives, a future which is fully green and sustainable, where our communication is built on hologramic 3D communication, the ability to transform on how we interact with everything through the digital twin capabilities, yet it has to be completely secure. I invite you to imagine how that future is going to be created. According to a computer scientist and a futurist, Ray Kurzweil, the next 100 years, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be equivalent or more than 20,000 years. This future is fueled by data. Over the past 2 years, the data that was created exceeds more than what we as humans collectively created over the past 5,000 years. This future is fueled by so many technology and industry trends. Some of those are the digital twin, the hologram, but they're all powered by AI. But before we continue going into talking about those limitless possibilities and unlocking the potential, I want to invite you to join me on this journey, just going back in the history 60 years. Ladies and gentlemen, only 60 years ago, the first glimpse of the Internet started. Ironically, it was called the Galactic Network. That network was in the research lab that started the foundation of the Internet. Only for 7 years later, specifically in 1969, where the birth of the Internet was officially recorded. I would like to bring your attention as well that also in 1969, something big happened. Human stepped the first foot on the moon. And that was the giant leap that humanity took going into the space. Today, as we talk about unlocking the possibility and as we travel into the future that powered by the technology trends that I spoke about, and going back into the history to see how we got here, to understand where we are going. Only 33 years ago, the official World Wide Web was born. World Wide Web, which allowed us to create the human fabric that traversed the borders, where now we have no limits. No matter where you are, if you were connected, you had access to this social fabric. The social fabric that was originally started to provide capabilities for connectivity, for emails, for file sharing, and now to what we have today, to where it is disrupting and transforming everything we do. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the World Wide Web platform that created the social fabric. This fabric only 25 or 20 years ago, 26 years ago, 25 or 26 years ago, it had less than 16 million connected users on it. Today, we have over 5 billion human connected to the innovation platform across the globe. The internet established the foundation that allowed us, all humanity, no matter where we are, no matter what color we are, no matter what country we live in, and no matter what language we speak, to start innovation. And now we brought the collective humanity ingenuity that brought us to all the different services that we have on the internet. We at Cisco believe that the next era, if we manage to connect the unconnected, humans and others, we will be able to create tremendous opportunities, hence creating limitless possibility that will add potential GDP of more than $6.7 trillion and lift more than 500 million people out of poverty. Because now we are creating opportunity for all. Now the level field is set. Now the level field now is plain, where historically only if you had access to the best labs, only if you had access to the best universities, only if you had access to funding and venture capitalists, you would be able to innovate and create a startup. Today, all you need is a device that connects you to the innovation platform, creating limitless possibilities. We at Cisco introduced the first device back in 1984 that was called the AGS, which now has transformed to be part of the foundation that creates this connectivity worldwide. Only 2.5 years ago, we have introduced the chipset that we called Silicon One, which allowed us now to build the foundation for the next era of the internet. The internet that will be powered and fueled by the technologies I spoke about earlier. We take pride in our ability to contribute to the world innovation and to the solutions that we bring into end. We believe the biggest task we have at hand is to bridge the digital divide through the creation and the expansion of the internet. We want to go to a place where no human have ever been before. We at Cisco have a purpose. The purpose we have is to power an inclusive, sustainable, and digital future for all. Now, the playing field is set, as I mentioned, to all of us, and now it's up to us to take advantage and move it forward. Our strategy to get there is connect, secure, and automate to accelerate the digital agility and resiliency in a cloud-first world. To do that, and the pandemic that started towards the end of 2019, beginning of 2020, has taught us so many things. We at Cisco took ownership and responsibility, and we have accelerated our innovation engine to start delivering solutions that will enable us to meet and confront all the challenges ahead of us, and no matter what they are, we want to be ready. The future, no doubt, holds massive uncertainty, and we want to be ready for it. For that, we are reimagining how applications are being built, as application is now not only it's the brand of the organization, but it's the mechanism and the vehicle for which organizations are delivering services and end users are consuming services. We are empowering the workforce. Ladies and gentlemen, throughout the pandemic, we have seen a shift overnight for more than 1.2 million students start learning from home, and to provide the solutions and the capabilities to allow that to happen. We are transforming the infrastructure, as I said, bridging the digital divide. Not only it is a responsibility, it is a moral obligation. And finally, securing the enterprise, because as we have heard in the session before me, we will not be able to achieve that without providing the end-to-end security. The future is tech and digital, and everything will run on technology, and technology will transform everything we do. Hybrid work as a terminology and as a trend started with the pandemic. But we all technologists and business people in the industry believe that this trend is here to stay. And therefore, creating the ability to bring power and to power hybrid work is key innovation and key strategy to all organizations. Transforming and continuing to drive the capabilities around the fourth industrial revolution, and how technology is playing across all verticals to enable the digital transformation. And finally, the hybrid cloud, and the cloud now, how many organizations before the pandemic, during the pandemic, and after the pandemic, moving massive workloads towards the hybrid cloud. Today, ladies and gentlemen, with great pride, I would like to announce in front of you the announcement for the first time, which just went out only 1 hour ago, about new innovations and new capabilities we bring, once again, around transforming the infrastructure to create the ability to bridge the digital divide. What are we doing on the edge? I remember long time ago when I first joined Cisco, I had a laptop and they handed me, for those who remember those days, a small card, and they told me that card is PCMCIA. If you put it inside the laptop, it will enable you to do the wireless. The wireless has been all the time best effort. But now, what are we doing? We are launching the Wi-Fi 6E, which enables us to do gig to the user, and now with complete predictability and quality of service. But not only that, we are bringing the capability at the edge with private 5G, but also we are announcing, as I mentioned, the silicon one, that we bring it into the core network. And I am late. And I wanted to share with you an example of what we are doing also, powering the hybrid work. We are taking our innovation solution all the way into the space, working with NASA. We have announced a great use case where the WebEx is going into space. And now what have we done? Now NASA will be using in their station on the moon Cisco's technology to enable communication between Earth and the moon on video. And we have brought the greatest innovation in terms of security and providing high-definition video using the lowest bandwidth. There is no doubt that we cannot do this without focusing on the sustainability. Bringing the capability where we are using the smallest footprint of our product, and we are using the smallest power consumption to enable that, while we are going into the future, a future that's moving at a speed never seen before. We want to make sure that we are also maintaining our planet and we are leaving it better than we have found it. No doubt the future is great. It holds a lot of uncertainty, yet we will together be ready. Thank you for taking the time and listening to me.